Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. I am out here with Antonio, the boatless angler, and we're out here using some jigging spoons. We got the Sting Nose jigging spoon on today, and we're ice fishing for perch. It's a beautiful day, and we've drilled some holes, and as you can see, we got into some fish here. I got a few nice ones already. We're getting a mixed bag of sizes here today. And we got a strategic spot that we're fishing here this morning. And where I'm fishing, as you can see, I'm fishing the white ice. We've got some snow here, and we've got some white ice. Whereas just beside me here, I've got some clear ice. And on the clear ice, this snow-covered ice actually gives some cover to the fish down below. It's a little bit of sun, it's a bit cloudy, but it offers a little bit of cover, and it also shields me. The fish can see this water's really clear, and if I was sitting on that clear ice, they could actually see and get startled by my movements. So if you've got an opportunity to fish a snow-covered area or a clear area, if you got a clear patch of ice, always look for the snow-covered areas, because those add a little bit of extra cover and makes for a little bit of better fishing. And right now, this area is holding some fish. I'm getting a variety of sizes, and I'm having to sort through the smaller ones to get to the bigger ones. But it's a lot of fun regardless, small or large. It's a lot of fun, this ice fishing, and I love jigging. I absolutely love to jig. And I don't know what it is, the thrill of using the artificial bait and enticing the fish to hit, but I really, really love jigging. And when you jig for perch or walleye or panfish, there's many different ways you can do it. Now, right now I'm fishing there. My line is on the bottom. I'm about 6-8 inches off the bottom, and that's where these fish are. They're on the bottom. And I'm using a lift and drop technique. Now, you could use various different techniques, and I've been playing around. I'm just jiggling it a bit. Sometimes that'll entice a bite, or I'll do a very, very slow lift and let it go back down, and then always pause. Slow lift and pause. That's another technique. Or you could use a more aggressive snap. Makes it look like that minnow is darting away, and a lot of times the aggressive bite, it will trigger a bite, the aggressive snaps. So when you're out there fishing, try a variety of things and change it up. And a lot of times this little jiggling technique, it's a subtle technique and it triggers bites. So I'm using a variety of methods today, and like I say, catching a variety of fish, a variety of sizes. How you making out back there, Antonio?
Not bad.
Getting some hits?
Ones. I got one keeper so far. You're doing better than me.
I can see you're into your lunch and it's early in the morning.
Some things you just can't wait for.
Okay, there's another one. Oh boy, I love it when they hit these spoons. They just hit them hard. And you get real nice hookups with this Sting Nose jigging spoon. The hook is located right at the head of the minnow, and that makes for a good hook set, because that's where the fish are attacking. They're attacking the head. So I really like that. And the other thing, if you notice out here, I mean, there is no real snow-covered ice. I've got white ice here and clear ice there. But when you have conditions like this where you don't have a lot of snow on the ice, I don't know if you could see, but I've got these cleats on here, and they're just a portable cleat. You can buy these. They're slip-on, and you just slip them over top of your boot. But what they do is they really, really grip the ice, and because when you've got these kind of conditions, it's pretty slick out here, and you don't want to fall, that's for sure. You want to be safe, and these cleats really, really make a big, big difference when you're out here on this clean sheet of ice. I think I'm following Antonio's footsteps here, catching the small ones as well. Okay, back in he goes. Now, there's a couple things I would like to point out. I mean, we're fishing outside today. It's a beautiful day. Gorgeous day, actually. It's not windy, it's not snowing and blowing. It's the perfect day to be fishing outside of a hut. That's what we're doing today. We brought our hut, but we're not going to use it because it's very, very nice out here. And oh, there's another one. And what I want to point out, when you're fishing outside like I am, rods make a big difference. That one's getting bigger. And when you're looking for a rod for ice fishing, especially if you're going to fish outside like we're doing today, you want to have a fishing rod with large eyes. Because what happens is, if your eyes are small and you're fishing outside, every time you reel in your line, a little bit of water accumulates on the eye, and what happens is your eye always freezes up on you, so you're constantly defreezing your eye on your fishing rod. So the way to avoid that is to just make sure you have a rod with a big eye. And when you're jigging, I like to have a rod that has a little bit of backbone to it, just to allow for a better hook set when you're catching bigger fish. So a little bit of a backbone to the rod and a nice big eyes on there so that they don't freeze up on you. That's the ticket when you're fishing outdoors like this, outside of a hut. And the other thing on the jig, if you've never used jigging spoons before, the fish will hit it on the fall or when it stops on the pause. They typically don't hit as you're jigging up. So on the way down, you keep an eye on your rod, keep an eye on your rod tip and your line, and you'll be able to see them hit or you'll feel them hit. But they'll typically hit on the way down or when it stops. Although you can sure tell when you got a bigger fish when you set the hook. He definitely feels like a, oh, there he goes. How do you like that? Okay. How's that for a net job there? But you know what? I got to get my line back down there because I've been weeding through all these smaller fish. Actually, that one's not huge, but he's borderline keeper. And like I say, typically when there's one, you usually catch more around the same size. So I'm hoping I can get into another one, but the way things have been going today, it seems like a lot more smaller fish than anything else. But we're weeding through them. One here, one there. We're weeding through them. So it feels a bit better, Antonio. A little chunkier. Nice. Yeah, not quite a keeper, but almost. Okay, let's see if we can entice a bite. Just gonna try jiggling it. Oh, did you see that? That was a good hit, actually. Let's try jiggling it again. Oh, actually, I did have him on. It's so small, I didn't even know I had him on. Okay. Let's try that again. We're going to try the little, what I'm going to call the jiggle approach. You're going to get it right down to the bottom. Jigging spoon gets right down to the bottom. You can tell you're on the bottom because the line goes slack. And now I'll just jiggle it a little bit. There we go. And enticing that bite. They see that minnow, that sting nose kind of quivering down there, and it just triggers that bite. So it's really, really good and very, very effective to try different techniques. I'm going to try the jiggle technique again, see if there's another one down there. So I'm down on the bottom. I'm just going to lift it up off the bottom and just jiggle it. Jiggle and pause. Jiggle and pause. And there we go. That's one way to entice a bite. Sometimes the fish, you need to do that to entice the bite, and that method really, really works well when the fish need a little bit of enticing. You know, another thing I like to point out, when it comes to jigging spoons, any jigging spoons, as you see, I'm just fishing the sting nose bare as is. It's very realistic looking and it's catching fish, as you can see. However, sometimes when the fish are a little bit tentative, if you wanted to tip your jigging spoon, you can. Now, you can tip it with a whole minnow if you want, but when you're fishing for perch, that's not really necessary. In fact, with one minnow, what I would do is I would chop that minnow up in tiny little pieces, you know, about 1/8 of an inch, and just put it off of one of the trebles, one little piece off one treble. And that's all you need. It'll add a little bit of scent and a little bit of enticement just in case those fish are a little bit tentative. But when they're aggressive, like they're somewhat aggressive today. They're biting kind of tentative, but they're still somewhat aggressive. You don't necessarily need bait. And I will tell you, another good bait, as bad as this might sound, if you want, you could actually tip your jigging spoon with a perch eye. You can actually use the eye of a perch and put it on one treble, and I don't know what it is about that eye, but it really, really attracts those hits and attracts some good bites. So I think we're gonna have ourselves a great day out here today. Antonio's into some fish. Oh, I just missed one. I'm into some fish, and I think we're gonna be able to muster up enough fish here for a fish fry. I've got something hitting here, and hopefully we'll get ourselves a decent amount of fish and have a decent fish fry tonight. But if you get an opportunity, folks, get out there and do some ice fishing. Enjoy our winter months. Winters are long, and you might as well get out there and have some fun. You know what? Whether you catch small fish, big fish, it doesn't matter. It gets you outdoors, and you know what? That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Getting outdoors, having some fun on the water. In this case, it's the hard water. And if you've never tried ice fishing, give it a try. You might just find that you'll like it. Anyhow, folks, I want to thank you, as always, very much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. It's always great to see you. And as always, until next time, good luck and good fishing. Or a silver-based lure, run with the gold. Gold works best under murky conditions or darker conditions, whereas silver reflects better in clear water conditions.